Welcome to the Game of Thrones edition of the Fresh as Me podcast. I'm Kevin, alongside me, returning for the second week in a row, the beautiful Lucia.
Hey.
The wise man, Steve.
What's up?
And our creator, Lance.
What's going on?
And today we're talking about Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf, the season finale. So, before we break down the episode, how'd everyone like it? You guys enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I honestly thought it was 10 times better than the last episode in terms of writing.
I got the chills.
I don't know. I thought the episode before was better, but it was definitely a good episode. I was amused.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
What episode before? I mean, you know what it was? There wasn't that much action compared to the last episode, and I don't know.
I don't know. I might be out in the.
It was good
out
for
in the
different
far-
reasons.
Out in the far left, but I feel like the episodes where it's just like strictly them playing the Game of Thrones, I like those a lot better. Like, not saying the action scenes aren't great. I love the action scenes, but like when they're all when it's like strategy happening, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, because it's all the manipulation and all the fuckery.
Alright, so let's start off this, so the episode started off with Daenerys basically setting out her army, right, flexing the muscles. You had the Dothraki ride in, you had the Unsullied, and then you had the two dragons. And fresh off the bat, man, we just got reunion after reunion. And how cool was it to finally see Tyrion, Podrick, and Bronn all together again?
It was heartwarming. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing I like too is like they all, like, as actors, they all came back together like 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, and it was just like you could tell like it didn't even feel like the actors themselves skipped a beat, because I know that
Yeah.
when they film, like, the actors themselves, like, they can be filming in different countries, so like they could not even be in the same country or see each other for the entire filming of the season.
From what I know is that Brienne meets Daenerys the first time, actually.
Yeah, we had so many first time
Yeah,
And I think it was
meetings.
also the first time Emilia Clarke and the actor who plays Cersei ever met each other, and on the show.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was
their first time.
Yeah, it was the first time. I know that Jon and Cersei technically they never met. They never were in a scene together.
No, they were
they
in
were.
the very
the first
episode.
season, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
Jon and
no,
Cersei?
don't forget, Jon wasn't lined up with.
Yes, he was.
He was lined
No,
up.
by that
Oh,
time wasn't he
hell
set? No, because he was
He was
with
in the back.
Joffrey, but
Yeah, but
she
they
wasn't
never met.
there.
That's what I'm saying. They never interacted before.
Oh,
they
they never-
they never had
never
like a
shook
yeah.
hands.
They were never in the same scene together where they were actually talking to one another, because during like that first episode you had Jon, who wasn't allowed to have dinner with them. He was outside. That's when he
Yeah.
talked to Tyrion for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so talking about Tyrion, Podrick, and Bronn, that was really cool to see them together. Podrick's magic cock. I'm glad that they sprinkled in now. And there's a lot of cocks this
not
episode,
to mention
actually.
the first 5 minutes was purely.
Yeah, it was
word
just pure cock. Yeah, so to backtrack a little bit, you said you had the Unsullied outside, and Bronn was just confused to, how do you have an army full of guys who don't have cocks when the whole reason why that they fight is to get gold to use their cock. And it was definitely, if you like the word cock, this is the episode for you, put it that way.
And not only that, if you like the word cock in a British accent,
Yeah.
Sounds so much better.
Yeah.
so much fancier.
Yeah, so moving along with it, that reunion, we also got to see Brienne and the Hound, man, because the last time
Yeah.
Brienne thought she had killed the Hound, and how cool of it was it, talking about how they were just like divorced parents,
Yeah.
talking about Arya, like, when the Hound found out she was alive and at Winterfell, you saw, like, that was the closest thing we ever saw to a Hound smile that didn't involve pain.
That little smirk, I wanted, like, that was probably the most heartwarming scene of the entire season for me, because it was just like the little tiny corner of his smile smirk. She was just like, oh shit, okay, she can hold her own. I taught her well. I don't need to worry about her anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like a father being really proud of his daughter moment.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. So then we move on to the Dragon Pit. You had Tyrion, Jon, the rest of the group in there, all waiting for Cersei to arrive. Cersei finally arrives, and then we're just missing our Dragon Queen, which she made a spectacular entrance, man. How badass and intimidating is that? You have all these people waiting around, and then you just hear the dragons roar, and like the dragon just drops you off, and it's like, go ahead, go to work.
I want to say she took the term being fashionably late to the next level.
Fashionably,
Very.
absolutely.
I could bet in Cersei's mind, she's like, fucking show off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So running through it, you basically had we had a little scene between Euron, Tyrion, and Theon, where Euron was basically making dwarf jokes towards Tyrion. If you remember from season 1, Theon was making those at Tyrion, and he basically just bitch slapped him down. But
Did he actually slap him?
no, I'm saying
Oh.
like you don't make those remarks
I
towards
was about
me.
to say I need to go back and watch that scene because I would love to
Yeah.
see Tyrion
little
slap.
Tyrion.
Yeah, so you had that going on, and then the whole main focus of this was them trying to get Cersei to side with them because they brought the White Walker back from beyond the wall, and that was just before moving to that, and then we got the Hound. We got a little tease of the Cooking Bowl because we finally got to see the Hound and the Mountain in the same scene since season 1. We always, people talk about this all the time. They always want to see the Hound versus the Mountain because they feel like that's going to be the ultimate matchup. And see them interacting. The Hound, his comedy is such gold. Just the way he was like, "Shit, you're even uglier than me now."
Who do you think would win that? Honestly, like if we're just going right now, like right off the top of your head, boom, who do you think would win that?
I
would-
think Hound wins that.
I say the Mountain because that armor, man. How are you gonna?
Yeah.
How do you
Unless-
pierce? And we don't know what the Mountain really could do because I know technically he's dead. I guess if you chop his head off, that's the end of it. But
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
that
I don't.
armor.
I don't
'cause
see.
in last season when the Faith Militant, they had a badass spike bat, and that shit went right into his
Right,
chest,
yeah.
and he just like took it out.
The
Yeah.
Hound would need some serious Hail Mary pass.
I mean, he has beaten him before though, right? But he wasn't wearing like that crazy looking.
Well, I mean,
black
wasn't
armor.
wasn't
It
the
was
Hound
just a
con-
quick battle. I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was
anything.
for like a joust.
Yeah, but even before in the first few seasons, they even make references that Hound was the better fighter. As they were going
The Mountain
because
was
they
just
didn't
bigger.
like each other. In the beginning of the show because they for whatever the reasons were. Because I think not that the Hound really had morality back then. He definitely has a lot more now, but. Because the whole thing with the Mountain killing the children, which started the whole thing with Martell and that whole season, that was before the show even started, if
You
I'm correct.
raped her. You killed her.
You raped her. Yeah. No, but the whole reason why the Hound and the Mountain don't like each other is because when they were children, the Hound was playing with one of the Mountain's toys. The Mountain got upset and put his face into the fire, and then ever since then, the Hounds and the Mountain were enemies after that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to God you have to give us that battle. I don't want to see the Mountain die by anyone else. I don't want to see the Hound die by anyone else. I want those two guys to clash at it because we've been teased for so many years now.
Honestly, in that like part right there, I did not realize how big the Hound actually was until he stepped up to the Mountain and
Yeah.
he was like. I
Yeah, it was toe to toe.
How tall
I
is-
didn't realize he was that tall.
How tall is
The actor.
the Hound?
The actor, I believe he's 6'6" or 6'7".
He's a
And
big.
Yeah, I
then-
think he's like 6'7",
and
6'8",
then
something
the-
like
Yeah,
And
that.
then the
and
Mountain.
the Mountain itself, he's 6'9".
He's 6'9".
But I
Oh, so
believe
they're
that-
close together.
Yeah, but the Mountain is, I don't know. I know they don't base it off in the show because it's impossible. But the Mountain's supposed to be 8 feet tall. Like, yeah,
Jesus.
he's supposed to be like a mountain of a
I
man.
think
Got
he's- no, I
fancy
think he's-
heels on.
I think he's like 7'2" or something like that. Or at least the way to make it. You know what it is? When you watch the fight scene when he fights Martell with the trial by combat for Tyrion, you see how big the Mountain actually is. Because if you look at the actor that played Martell,
Mhm.
he's been in other shows because he was in Narcos and stuff like
Yes.
that and stuff like that. So you see him, he's a normal sized person, and you see the Mountain, it's like, dude, this is a big
Wait,
motherfucker.
what other show is?
He was in Narcos. He plays Pena.
Oh no, I want to watch that because his actor was really cool. I like
Yeah,
his
it's
actor.
pretty. You should check it out. They actually have the new season coming out on Netflix tomorrow or the day after.
We are sponsored by Netflix, guys.
Yeah, right.
Wish.
Just kidding. We're actually not sponsored by Netflix. Don't sue us, Netflix, please.
All right, so we finally get the meeting. John is proposing that they should all just have a truce. There should be no war between any of them, and that the real war is here and it's coming, and that is the White Walkers. So they brought the White out, and it was actually funny because as the Hound was opening up the crate, you had a little bit of a pause there where he tapped it before and the thing went crazy. And this
I
guy
thought it
is.
was- I thought it was dead.
I thought.
yeah.
Can you imagine if like
It
the
played.
Ice King is just like he's waiting because he knows at the perfect time, and then like he just like removes the power from him, so it's like you just have like a dead body, and you present Cersei a little skeleton, or it's just like
I swear. It was
yeah,
alive.
yeah. I swear to God,
At
it
that
was
point,
a
just put the
lot.
puppet strings
Yeah,
on it.
people died for this guy. Yeah, so the White comes out immediately charges at Cersei. Euron then gets up. He realizes at the time he says, he traveled the world and this is the most terrifying thing he ever seen. He then tells Cersei, "Hey, look, I'm splitting." After he realizes the White Walkers can't swim, we have an island. Boom, we'll be safe there. And then going into it was Jon then tells her, "Look, you see what it is?" Cersei immediately says, "Okay, there'll be a truce, but the only key is that you and the Northerners have to stay out of this war." Jon, the honorable man that he is,
Being Ned Stark's son.
a classic Ned Stark move. He tells her, "I cannot abide by those rules because you are no longer my queen. I am sworn to Queen Daenerys." And then Cersei storms off because she's all pissed off.
And she's a crazy bitch.
And she's a crazy bitch.
Mostly.
And
'cause-
she's packing for 2.
So then everyone leaves, and then Tyrion gives Jon a little gab at him, saying, "Learn to lie, my man. There's no point of being honorable all the time
And
when you're trying to save
John's face
lives."
was also just perfect because after he said that she walked away, he just kept looking forward like,
I know I should have lied, dwarf, but I didn't. Definitely he was looking at points towards
Yeah.
Daenerys too. See, I told you, you're my queen. You're my queen.
you just
Yes. So then, at that point, they don't know what to do. Tyrion volunteers to go to bat with Cersei and just basically tell her, the right thing for you to do is to join us. He goes, meets with her. It was really intense scene, man.
And that goes back to what I was saying about how it's that episode was a reunion of so many different actors and actresses. The last time they were in a scene together, I think, was at the end of season 4 when Tyrion left King's Landing, and I don't think they were in a scene. Yeah, after that,
I thought that's season 5.
season 5.
Yeah, cause that's the Martell
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
when he
So
first
it was
met
at the
them.
end. It was at the end of season 5, and then I loved how they just jumped right back into it with their usual banter, and then they start drinking again, and that brought me right back to classic Tyrion being drunk and talking over wine, and it was just great, and it was just perfect, just right back into it, sort of acting, and they played it off perfectly.
With that, when you look at Tyrion's perspective, it's like he may not walk out of that room. He didn't know it was for all he knew that Matthew was going to cut him in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, that it was so tenseful because you could, and I'm talking about the acting, you could see the emotion in and he portrayed it perfectly. He's like, if you want
Tyrion's
to kill
so
me, then
good.
kill me.
Yeah, that was really intense. You had Tyrion going in there where either he was gonna walk away having a deal or he was gonna die in that room, and he went right up to the mountain, and the mountain's a mountain. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Tyrion goes up to him. Cersei can't pull the trigger. She just basically doesn't want to kill Tyrion for whatever reason. Then he goes to share a drink with her. She didn't take it. Then she starts talking about the future, holds her stomach, and then Tyrion realizes, "Hey, you're pregnant." So now this is where
I actually didn't realize that she wasn't drinking because I thought
She's
she
pregnant.
was,
Yeah, she can't.
Wow.
yeah.
She's packing for
Responsible
2.
She's
parenting.
packing
That's
for 2.
responsible parenting.
Yeah.
Call her a bitch all you want.
She knows how to raise a kid. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. She knows how to make sure they're born healthy. Hey, I'm not anything after that.
She's 2 for 3.
Yeah.
2 for 3.
So
She
then,
made one of her kids commit suicide.
Yeah,
I mean, you
so-
can't give her credit for that one.
yeah.
this is where I was a little thrown off. So Cersei was so against joining. After she just says, "Look, you're on your own. We're not part of this. There is no truce." 5 minutes later, Tyrion walks out. And then Cersei follows and says, "Look, you will send the banners. You have my army. We're at truce. We'll fight this war together." What happened in that time after he said you're pregnant? That's where I feel like this is going to play probably the biggest role. There's so many theories out there where, maybe Tyrion gave Cersei advice that he just previously gave to Jon, where he said, "Look, you don't have to just lie so we can move on from this. We don't want to have to go to war with you. We have to focus on the Great War." What do you think was said in between those times?
See, I never thought of it as he sort of sold Daenerys out. I wasn't like I after that scene I honestly thought that like, he talked her into it, and she's a manipulator, so like maybe she manipulated him into.
Do you think that maybe he said that, hey, one of the dragons are gone? Like,
Oh.
did you ever think that? Because she
yeah, because in the ending scene, which we'll
she
get
know.
to,
I mean, I know she
mentioned
noticed
that one of
it.
them's gone.
Yeah, so that's why. But
That's
I mean,
that's a good point you made there, Lucy.
that's a little theory.
So I heard this other theory to stay on it. I don't. It's possible, but can you imagine if Tyrion tells Cersei, "Hey, look, Daenerys cannot have children. There is no rightful heir once she leaves. I can guarantee that that kid in your stomach will get the next one as long as he's raised right. You will have a Lannister on the throne after this war is done. He will be a rightful heir." Can you imagine if Tyrion went and said that?
See, I don't know if I agree with that though.
Yeah, I can't see how that would.
Because
Like,
they
how
make
would
it.
that happen? What they
Well,
would just overthrow
it
the
kind
king
of
like
does
they
make
did
sense.
with
You know
the,
why? Oh, sorry.
With like Robert's rebellion, like they would just go in there last.
No,
minute,
no,
let's-
I'm saying that. Look, help with this war or lie about this war, anything just to make them happy, make them leave, and then I can guarantee when that kid is old enough, when Daenerys can no longer serve, that kid will eventually have the throne. I'm not saying that Daenerys will agree to it, but I'm saying maybe there's a way he can slip that in where he can actually say, "Hey, look, they can groom either your daughter or your son because you don't know the gender of it right now, even though there's more than two genders." So yeah, so
All-inclusive
maybe
podcast,
yeah, so maybe he actually went and said, "Hey, look, I can guarantee your child will be on the throne after, as long as you just lie or just anything just to get them to leave right now, to make them happy, let them hear what they want to hear."
Personally, I'm finding that one a little
Okay,
hard to
yeah,
follow.
just-
yeah, just
Maybe-
me personally.
Maybe that's why, like, skipping ahead is like he looks sad when her and John are
he
together.
did something guilty because he was sneaking up, and like, if you rewatch it, because I rewatched it a few times, the music changed when they showed Tyrion.
Did you watch the after the episode thing with the HBO, like the directors and stuff?
Yeah, the one on their
Yeah,
YouTube channel.
I know they said it was more of the fact that, like, he realizes like the implications that them sleeping
Yeah,
together
you
had.
think so?
Yeah,
I think we're
that's
reading too much into
Now
it.
ruling is gonna be a lot more complicated because now you have two different people's like viewpoints going into it.
I
instead of
can
just
see
one.
that because now you don't have Tyrion really in Daenerys' ear. You have
Yeah.
Jon as well.
Well-
Do you think that Jon respects Tyrion though?
Absolutely.
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
absolutely. I feel
Um,
like they greatly respect both of each other.
Well, that's why Tyrion said that Dario shouldn't come with her.
Mhm.
When you think about it that way, you
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the distraction. You don't need a distraction.
Distraction.
Because you know what, Steve,
That's
you
a good
just
point.
saved this because look what happened the last time. When she was mentioning all those people who made stupid mistakes, it was all her past lovers. And then when Jon was in trouble, she got up and was sacrificing herself when she just left with the three dragons to go save Jon. I think Tyrion doesn't want her to make one of those moves where she was better off alone and not having to worry about anyone but herself. Now Tyrion has to somehow... Yeah, having Daenerys fall in love is a real shit show, actually.
Yeah,
for
but the-
Tyrion.
It
But the
happened.
thing with
It
her
did
that-
happen really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with her that you're forgetting too, and going to before, because I didn't get a chance to say it before, is, she can have a child. Because there was mentioned that for her to have a child, I forgot the way that they worded it. I can't really quote it, but
Only death can pay for life.
yeah, they were saying that she had to lose one of her children to have a real child. So
Nope.
by saying that, she would have to lose one of the dragons. So she lost the dragon. So theoretically, not saying it's definite, but she might be able to have a child now
But
because
John did say, I feel like one of the most down to earth things, like, you're believing the woman
Yeah.
who wanted your husband dead
Dead,
because she
yeah.
was a prisoner. Like, and I agree with that. Like, dude, she was prisoner. You were using him to bring back to life the dude who raped you. Well, not the actual person, but like the leader of the people who raped you. Like, of course she's gonna say some stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like she can just lie, say you're not gonna have any more children. Like she wasn't like fate. Like she was just.
Yeah, but it was also
she was a
based.
prisoner of
Yeah,
hers.
but it was also based because they mentioned things in the past. Because supposedly the whole, we're gonna go more into it later with the whole what you find out with Jon Snow and where he's from. But that's a big part of it because it's a whole pattern that's been going on for who knows how long, and it just keeps going. Like, I mean, I guess that now we can kind of mention that point 'cause we're leading up to it. We've mentioned, and obviously, Jon Snow and Daenerys. They did their
They
thing.
do the fuck.
Yeah, they stopped saying cock jokes and they actually
Inserted it.
Yeah. Insert cock joke into Daenerys.
But while it was going on, that you end up finding out that they're actually related. That Daenerys is actually her aunt.
Which is why I feel like that's why she fell in love with him so quick, because that the
There's always
Targaryens-
already a bond.
They're always into that incest.
But that's been a common thing.
incest for the win.
But I think they talk about it more when it comes to the books and comparing to the show. But that's a big connection between the history of Targaryens. Targaryens, just like they've been known to have incestual relationships, so it's it's fitting the pattern.
Well,
Yeah.
in the beginning, where I forgot which season, Cersei is actually the one that mentions it, that the Targaryens have been, having
Wasn't it
children.
She was justifying
Keeping
She
it
was
in the
just-
family
yeah,
for
keeping it-
years.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the same season when she was being when it was like the High Temple, whatever, when they were trying like that whole season?
I think it was something I know she was just justifying it.
Well, because that was the thing. Because doesn't she end up? Because that was the season when she shaves her like
The
when-
High Septon with the sparrows you're
Yeah.
talking about? Okay.
that season. Because that's when she mentions it. She's just like, why am I being, stoned
Ridiculed
and
for it if the Targaryens have been
Yeah.
doing it for years and that was okay, but if a Lannister does it, why is it bad? No, I understand what you mean. And just to throw this in here, like, I just thought of it. When Jon basically tells her, like, maybe you could have a kid, maybe, like, he was lying. Can you just imagine Daenerys is just like, look, I haven't had my period in like 2 years, okay? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it's not working, man.
I was like thinking in my head, I was like, well, now that we know that Jaime's coming back, going to the north, I was like,
Oh.
and when Jon finds out that his aunt, he's probably gonna go for Jaime for advice.
Oh, yeah, so,
Like-
when was it okay?
Like,
Yeah.
can you tell me? Like,
All right, so let's move on to one of an overdue scene. We have Sansa and Littlefinger. Littlefinger is manipulating Sansa, basically trying to get her to turn against Arya, basically saying, look, Jon's not fit to rule. You're fit to rule. You have the power right now. The people are in your favor, but the only thing stopping you is Arya, because she does have that scroll. So Littlefinger was planting the seeds. Either kill your sister or imprison your sister, get her out. So then we have another scene where Sansa is basically saying, bring my sister. They're in the Great Hall where Jon was proclaimed the King of the North. You have the Knights of the Vale. You have the Northern soldiers. You have Littlefinger. And then you have Bran and Sansa at the table. And then in walks Arya. So at that point, did they have you sold that Sansa was that stupid?
Never once.
No?
I
Well, yeah,
told-
you were
I
the smart
told
one.
her-
Okay, yeah.
There's no
yeah.
way that she would betray her family.
Yeah.
for a second, for that slight little second, and then I realized I was like, all right, wait, never mind. 'Cause
The only thing that I think would have made it believable is the amount of people from the Vale she had in there to like
Yeah.
guard. But now that you know what happens, I love it because she had all those people there because she know how manipulative Littlefinger is. So you're not escaping. Like this is you're done right now. Like you are done.
Well, who's the guy that one of the Knights of the Vale
The
bald old guy?
The general of the army.
the general?
Yeah.
He never liked Littlefinger.
Never-
No, he was always
He
against
never.
him.
He
Yeah.
almost sort of like
He almost died because
he
of
almost
him.
sentenced him.
Yeah,
to death.
Yeah.
and
He almost
Littlefinger
sentenced
saved
to
him.
death.
Yeah, but he saved him at the end where he bought what was his name? The little kid.
Yeah, the
I
bird.
fucking hate that.
Yeah, they got him the bird, and then he manipulated him that way. That's why he took control over the Knights of the Vale.
Yeah.
So, you have Arya walk in. She's looking around. She's like, you really want to do this? Yeah. And then she just says, how do you answer for your crime? Your, for murder and betrayal?
And treason.
Yeah, murder and treason. Baelish. And then at that point, man, I was like, thank the Lord. I'm so happy he's finally...
Yeah, the entire room there, because we all watched it together. The entire
Yeah,
room
and it
there, they just
erupted.
started
It
clapping and
erupted,
getting
yeah.
up.
And then basically, Bran revealed everything. He was the one who started the war between the Starks and the Lannisters. He betrayed Ned. He got him killed. And everything was brought out. The
And-
very knife that he put up to Ned's throat.
Shout out to Bran for doing something that's
Finally,
not really creepy
finally,
this time.
yeah, he's not just looking in fire and saying the
and
fire
not telling
is
his
It's
hot.
not like
sister
he-
that she looked beautiful the day she was raped.
It's
Yeah.
not like he potentially is trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. So then they reveal all the crimes to Baelish, and then Baelish on his knees, which was good acting in my opinion. I really
Yeah.
believe that. I felt Peter like he
his
was
initial
fucked.
his initial look was like,
Oh,
wait,
that was the
wait.
best shot. To like, oh, this must be a mistake.
Yeah.
No,
It's like,
little
whoa,
finger,
whoa, whoa.
salt and pepper. Get up in there in the middle, and
Yeah.
you face answer.
That actor's always been really good when it comes to playing those villain roles.
Yeah,
Like
he was in that 12 rounds with John Cena.
he was also in
Rush Hour 2.
I
Not
know
Rush
he was
Hour
in
2, Shanghai
Shanghai
Night.
I know he was also in the failed AAA title video game Quantum Break. He was like one of the main villains in that.
Wasn't that the one with the guy who was from The Following, and he
Yeah,
was
I
in
think so.
Smallville too?
I think so.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
Yeah, because it had live action sequences. But this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Littlefinger on his knees pleading. The guy has gotten out of every situation except for this one. When you mess with one wolf, you mess with the whole pack. Arya goes over, slits his throat as he's choking and dying on his own
He
words.
tries to say. I think he tries to say Sansa again.
I loved you. Then why did you betray my mother? Why did you betray my whole family? We're finally, round of applause to death to Littlefinger. Thank God.
Hooray.
Finally
Those
out
little
of
confetti poppers.
yeah, with a hat, yeah. We finally got him out of the show. No more conspiring. No more his little bullshit games. We're finally out. So then we move on. After that, guess who arrives at Winterfell?
Who?
Sam.
Oh yeah,
Sammy
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
boy,
that.
Sammy boy, come
Shame
on!
on
It
me.
leads up to one
I
of the most
totally
important
spaced
scenes.
out.
I
So
thought you were talking about the Jamie Cersei scene.
not yet,
Not
but
yet. Okay.
yeah, I
I
wanna.
love it.
Even though that was actually before the Sam scene. 'Cause
Yeah,
the Sam
yeah,
was
it
like
was right
one of the
after.
last
All right, so
episodes.
we'll just do that real quick, just a quick rundown. So then, Jamie is seen plotting, sending out his soldiers, where to meet everyone, where to go out. Cersei goes over, calls him the stupidest Lannister. Basically tells him, hey, look,
Right off the bat,
Yeah,
he's being disrespectful. Like, come on.
you're the stupidest Lannister. Said, look, we're not going to fight with them. Are you crazy? If the Dothraki dragons and the whole North and the Unsullied can't beat them, why we would risk our men? She then reveals to him that Euron was in it the whole time. He wasn't actually going back home. He was going to the Iron Bank to get 20,000 soldiers.
Still think Euron's a pussy.
Yeah. What was the name of the soldiers actually? Apparently they're really big
The
in the books
golden-
too.
Yeah, the
The
golden
something.
elephant or something like that.
No, they have.
No, they have elephants.
Yeah, they have
It was
elephants.
the
and horses.
golden something. I can't remember. Golden septum or the golden. I don't know.
Hierarchy.
Whatever.
Something was
Yeah.
fucking golden.
It's the
That's what
golden. Let's call him the golden army. The golden army.
The golden. Okay, so the golden.
Actually, I think
Army-
that might have been the name.
Damn, I'm just.
Possibly. So they basically
I'll look that
that army right now, they basically collect the debts that aren't paid to the Iron Bank. So Euron is sailing them to bring them over with all his ships, just really reinforcing King's Landing. Jamie can't believe that she's actually, Jamie. I know he's broke oath before with the whole Kingslayer, but he's very honorable. He's the most honorable.
He's
Yeah.
done with being a joke.
I
I
think.
didn't think.
Oh, sorry. I think it's what it is. It's like he'll do what it takes to protect the people, and where he had he even said it. He loved his king, but he was about to destroy
Yeah,
everyone.
it was to save everybody.
And I think there's another pattern where it's like he loves Cersei, and
He's like blinded by his love for her, which is like
But-
not a good thing.
but now it's like
he's not blinded no more.
Yeah,
I love
but
my
now
sister.
The veil has been lifted.
Yeah.
But it's like it's exactly what happened to him with the Mad King. It's like you're
Cersei's
literally
going mad with power. Yeah.
She's
She's always been mad with power,
Yeah,
but
but
now she
yeah.
actually has the power.
Jamie
Yeah.
brought up something so perfect too, where it's like, okay, if we sit on the sidelines and wait, so it's either the dead come for us and we get killed by them, or somehow, all the army,
Yeah.
like everyone else's
Someone's
army,
gonna win.
yeah, someone's gonna win, and they're gonna come right after us.
If we betray 'em, yeah.
Exactly. So they're gonna come right after us. Like, what are we? We're just waiting to die, basically. Let's go in there, commit to our oath that we were gonna help them. You promised them. Cersei just basically said, "Look, we're not doing that shit." Just went behind Jamie's back and planned something, and then it was very intense because I didn't think they would do it twice, but then Jamie tried walking away. She basically said, "No one walks away from me." Then he basically says, "Look, I'm not having part of this plan." Then she starts talking about betrayal. Mountain steps up. I was keeping my eye on him the whole time because I felt like he was coming into the scene. So then the Mountain goes up, and then Jamie goes, so what are you going to do? Sick him on me? Then do it. And I didn't think for 1 second that they were going to have two scenes where Cersei did not want to kill both her brothers. I actually thought Jamie was dead. I thought
I remember watching it. I was like, no, wait.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do it.
I didn't think he was gonna die.
Yeah, me
that
too.
was
No.
so good because that I haven't really been surprised, like super duper surprised by a
Yeah.
scene this season until that one, which
You
is
know-
why I like it so much because it was just out of nowhere.
You know what else I like is how the both brothers said goodbye to each other
Mm-hmm.
after they both had faced Cersei.
Yeah,
like,
that's actually a good pickup. I didn't realize that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both like, who's the bigger idiot then?
yeah, it was the
Yeah.
bigger idiot, and now they're gonna meet up together. like,
Another thing I
hopefully.
found that was like weird is when Tyrion was in the room, even though I think the Mountain did pull out a sword a bit, Cersei never gave him a head nod. Cersei never even thought about going like, okay, yeah, you can kill him.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
when it
for
was
who,
Jamie-
Tyrion?
For Tyrion, yeah.
Yeah.
She
when
just
it was
glared at him.
Jamie, she had no hesitation. She's like, okay, yeah, that's it. I'm giving you the order.
Well, because
Yeah.
Cersei was probably like with Tyrion, she was like, "Dude, I'll fucking kill you myself. Like
Well,
you're half my size.
Yeah, I'll go up throw hands with you, Tyrion.
I'm
Don't-
thinking that it was more of the fact
My
that she
unborn
knew
child would fuck you up."
that she knew if she killed Tyrion, dude, you got all these
Yeah.
you got the fucking
Yeah, basically
You're
it
dead.
would be the child would be dead.
Okay,
you
so
know.
what I thought was that Cersei had this planned the whole time. That she knew that Jon would never take her side because he's with Daenerys, and that she went back and she wanted Tyrion. Like she knew that Tyrion was gonna come after, like the whole. After.
Did she know that
I
Jon
feel like that's
was with? I don't think she knew Jon was with Daenerys ever.
Sworn to her, and then Tyrion didn't really have an idea either.
You don't
'cause he
think that
didn't-
like she had somehow knew?
Well, because Jon was sort of Daenerys' like prisoner sort of thing, so he was there. Like he was there with just like a couple people. He was only there with Davos and
when with Miss Sandy, like he went
yeah,
with her
she-
army.
She vanished. She's coming back next season. For a
Yeah,
fact.
there is speculation. I don't want to go too into it because we still have a lot to cover, but there is speculation that there is a mole within not Cersei, Daenerys'
It's Varys.
that they're
saying
leaking
that
stuff to
correctly.
Cersei. That's why
I
she's
could
always
see-
ahead
It's
of everybody.
I could see that Miss Sandy would betray Daenerys in a way.
We'll see because she did
It's
free
Varys.
her from
Varys,
slavery.
Varys.
But at that point, it's like, what's the point? But we'll cover that at a different
Yeah.
time. So going into it, Jamie basically says, "I don't believe you." Completely walks away from Cersei. Cersei
And
gets
out.
up. Excuse me. Cersei gets up, glares at him. Jamie then goes outside. He takes on a black glove, covers his hand. We see a snowflake, and then it was beautiful to see King's Landing covered in snow,
Snow,
man.
yeah.
How badass was that? It was completely
Ah.
dark. Winter is here for everybody. It's not just in the north.
Which-
Jamie,
Which makes me think
Yeah.
a couple of different things. Because Lance said they're bringing, like, Lance reminded me to bring elephants. Elephants don't usually do good in the snow, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh, going back to that, it was the Golden Company.
Golden Company, not the
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Army. Okay, so it's the Golden Company that they're bringing
Well, the
over.
Golden Company's elephants are not going to do good in the winter. I'll
No,
tell you that.
no.
No.
They'll
Freeze.
get the fuck out of there. It's too damn cold for them. But I think the most controversial line, in my opinion, is I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
It can mean a few things.
I'm saying that 100% means that, like I said, I mean, this is just me. I'm saying it's 100%. Everyone has their own thing, has their own idea. But I'm saying that's 100% means that he doesn't believe her about the baby. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
if you love your children that much, then you wouldn't want them to grow up without a father.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's ready to kill him, that sort of proves it to, like, okay, look, not only do I believe you won't kill me, but if you were to kill me, then that baby, like, you're lying to
Yeah.
keep me along. So no matter what, you're lying about everything,
Yeah.
and you're going crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I picked up when he said I don't believe you, because it's like he didn't die, so in his head it's like, okay, well you didn't kill me, so it's only just us two, because you probably wouldn't give two shits if you had the kid inside you. You would have slaughtered me
Yeah.
right there. Right
Yeah,
there.
no, it's true. Exactly. Good point to bring up. So then we see, like I said, Jamie's on a horseback, starts to fall. So where do you think Jamie's going? North to reunite with everyone, to give everyone the heads up, hey, look, the Lannisters aren't coming? Or do you think he's going to go drink off his problems?
Well, he said he kept,
You go north.
yeah, he said he kept an oath, so I think
Yeah.
But
Why
now,
not do both?
Do you think?
Yeah, I'm drinking and going.
Do you think he's gonna take the Lannister army with him? Like, will they follow?
No,
I don't think
I don't
no.
think so. I feel like he just went by himself. He's just going to go there.
Well, you see him leave the city by himself, so he
Yeah.
didn't take anybody.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't want to send a raven either, just because he doesn't want the war. He doesn't want them to basically say the Lannisters aren't coming, we're heading back. I feel like he's just gonna go there, represent the Lannisters himself. Which, how badass! We have a super all-star team fight.
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys,
Like,
man.
it's unstoppable.
So
Because now I feel like now Daenerys not only has Jon Snow, who's a true warrior, who's easily the best swordsman out of everyone in the
Yeah.
universe
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
in Game of Thrones. But then you also have probably Jaime, who's one of the best strategic commanders of armies
Yeah.
that they have at that point.
you know, I'm actually surprised to bring this up. I'm surprised Jaime didn't leave with Braun. You know, he just got that
Yeah.
offer with Tyrion. Tyrion
I
offered
was the
him.
same thing, but then if you rewatch the scene with when Bronn and
Tyrion.
Bronn and Pod and Tyrion,
Yeah.
like he's saying that he's there for who's ever giving him the most money. And right now, Daenerys has the Iron Bank. Daenerys has the not Daenerys.
Cersei.
Cersei has the most. Cersei has the Iron Bank.
I feel like he should know at
And
this
that's
point
stupid
that.
on his point. And
he
at that
shouldn't-
point, he's chasing
Well, he
the money.
wasn't there when the White Walker.
Yeah, but you know, I feel like it's one of those things where you know it's Tyrion and Jaime. Like, are you really gonna stick around for Cersei? So then we see Jaime run off. Hopefully he's going to the north. You know, stand the fight, and then we finally get to the Sam scene. He arrives at Winterfell, shows up, goes to speak with Bran, and then Bran reveals to him that, hey, look, Jon isn't who he thinks he is. There's something he has to know about himself.
Which was a great scene. How
Yeah.
they intercut both like the
Him,
sex scene
yeah.
and the fact that Lyanna
and
Rhaegar
Rhaegar,
getting married at
yeah.
the same time. It was great.
Yeah, you have, you know, him, Sam revealing to Bran that, hey, look, you know, there was a secret wedding. All this run by, you see Jon Snow. He knocks on Daenerys' door. They close the door. And next thing you know, they're banging it out, making the baby, hopefully. Then, you know, we finally get to see Rhaegar and Lyanna get married. We get to see Rhaegar itself. And then we finally get to hear those words whispered to Ned Stark when she says, "Promise me." And then his name is Aegon.
Aegon Targaryen.
Aegon
It's
Targaryen.
just, I can't. I hate it.
It's kind of funny.
Too many damn Aegons. There's too many Gons and
We know-
Eryses.
Do you think there's too many now? The book has like people who are like, there's like 4 or 5 more people like, no, I'm Aegon. It's like who's the real Slim Shady? Just Aegon.
Who's the real Aegon? Please stand up.
I would be the troll and just be a Stark and name my son Aegon Stark.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you guys calling him now? Jon Snow or Aegon Targaryen?
Jon Snow. It's
Jon
so
Who
much.
the fuck is no Aegon?
Man, who the fuck is Aegon? Yeah, so then we finally get to
Aegon
see.
didn't kill
Yeah.
White Walkers, bro.
So let me get this. So like me and Lucy were talking about after the episode. She had asked, "Oh, like where the hell did they get Jon from?" And obviously Aegon's a very Targaryen name. You couldn't name him Aegon. Imagine Jon was back. Oh, his name's Aegon. So it's Jon Snow. It's so much better. What was the other? What are the Targaryens called bastard children? Pebbles. What was it?
Sand.
Oh,
That's
John
the
Pebble.
Dornish people call it.
oh,
bastard
okay,
sin.
yeah.
Because he was born in
John
Dorne.
Pebble. I can't imagine. What is it? Sand, John Pebble, John Rock. Snow is so perfect.
Depends what climate you're in.
Yeah, what climate you
John
feeling?
Glacier.
That's really north, dude. My name's John Glacier.
But imagine like he goes back to Winterfell and like Bran or somebody. They're like, oh, let's go to Aegon. And he's just like, who the fuck is that guy?
Hey, who?
You call me that again.
I can see Sam doing that, like going up to him, like, Aegon, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, what? Who? Aegon? Yeah, like, oh, you gotta talk to your brother. Yeah, obviously.
But,
Yeah, it's good.
On a scale
Sorry.
of 1 to 10, how much of it is an asshole move on Bran's part that he did not even mention that his fucking parents, that his dad and his brother died?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just didn't
no.
bring it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to because Daenerys is coming right now. She just lit her parents,
yeah.
his family on fire.
I don't think he would care that much his dad's dead, but I think he
His
would be a little
brother.
tied to his brothers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But then Tyrion's there to soften the blow for him because Tyrion wanted to like give him, just put him in the cell.
Yeah.
Men change their mind when
Well,
they're in the
he didn't want to kill the bloodline. He didn't want to kill the house.
But
Yeah.
it really isn't because you have.
Sam.
Sam.
Well, but Sam is actually still a member of the Night's Watch. He can't take on the
But
lordship.
I feel like at that point,
Is he
they have to
really?
pardon
I
him.
thought because he's a
no,
maester.
Jon Snow gave him the letter to go down
Yeah,
to.
he
So
gave him the order as the Lord Commander to go go to.
So he's still a
Citadel.
full member of the Night's
Yeah,
Watch.
he's completely.
wow,
His
he's screwed.
Hey,
watch
John-
hasn't ended.
If Jon Snow can get out of the Night's Watch, why can't he?
He just gotta die. That's the only thing he gotta do. He gotta
Let me
resurrect
stick
it.
this knife in you, and then we'll get the Red Witch over
So
here.
he got out on a technicality.
Yeah. So then, okay, so we finally realized that Jon is 100% Targaryen now. Everything that we already knew. Daenerys is his aunt. We see a sweet sex scene between the two. And then we go into what is probably one of the most badass scenes. We go to the wall. We see Tormund there. And who else was he with?
Possible rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to think about
I don't think so.
I
Until
don't
you
think
see
so.
him die.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They would have shown.
So
it.
then they're
But still,
yeah.
They wouldn't have saved him the episode before just to fucking kill him off
Exactly,
like
yeah.
that.
and then not even show it.
Exactly.
What's
yeah.
his
What
name?
is
I
it?
feel like such
Who's the
a
guy with the guy with the eye patch?
Dondarrion.
Dondarrion,
Yeah, so
there
it's
you go.
him and Tormund at the wall. They're looking out, and you just know it's coming out of that forest. And then we see one White Walker, and then we see a shit ton. And then
They're
we
so
hear Tormund is already getting the horn sounded. We hear 1, 2, 3 blows, and then we just hear a roar. And then how fucking fast was
Dude, I thought I was
yeah.
bugging when I saw it. Like,
Dude,
I thought it was a
he
mistake
was
at the show. But that
fast.
shit is like booking.
Yeah, that's definitely.
He could make a Night of King's Landing in an
Yeah,
hour.
he's really fast, and he's
That's
really
as fast
strong.
as the Ravens
Wait,
were
who,
flying
the-
last episode.
Viserion,
Yeah.
the White Walker dragon. How
Yeah.
he just swooped in like that, and he was
Yeah.
able to fly
Why do you think
around.
he's flying so fast? You think it's because he has like no meat on him? He's dead, so it's just like bones
Ma-
and wings.
You know, I hope that we get a better understanding of it because, going into it a little bit, is that the dragon basically tore down the wall with. Was it? You guys say? Was it fire? Was it just
Yeah,
blue
fire.
fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was fine. I thought that was ice.
Nah, dude.
He'll make the wall
It was
bigger.
ice, it
Yeah.
was
No,
It
it's
didn't
not.
melt though. It broke.
That's true too.
No,
Didn't
if,
that-
if you look, there like when
I think they mention
there was a hole
they
in it,
mention
like,
it in the making of that season.
Yeah, but
that
why
episode.
would the fire turn blue though? Cause
That's I guess because
How
the
is he
eyes
gonna
are
blow
blue.
ice?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was ice because you don't really see it. Because think about it. If he was shooting flames at it, if he shot flames at one spot and went to another, you would see it melt. You wouldn't
Might-
see it break and crumble like it did.
I mean, it could be a
If you
special
watch
type
it,
of
There's
fire.
a hole in the thing. Like you could see a circular hole where he was like blowing fire at it for like
Yeah.
a little bit.
I mean,
and
why
then it collapsed.
why is wildfire green? It could be
That's
special.
true. No, that's
Yeah,
true
that's a good
too.
point.
That's a good
Why is
point.
Wildfire
Yeah.
green, huh?
It-
Is it- is it
Oh, my
flat?
point is that with that, I don't know, especially because they're White Walker, they're ice, they're cold. You know,
No,
why would
yeah,
they
he
have
does have a
fire?
point.
It's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
It's just
I know. what
I
you
hope that we get that explained because it's going to lead up to a battle between Drogon and Viserion. Definitely, there's going to be a
mean.
head
Who would
up.
win that battle?
here's the interesting thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
I
With
think
that
I think
speed
that's,
and that
yeah,
shit.
I think
ooh.
Drogon might.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now here's something that I always wondered. Now Mountain is he technically considered dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Frankenstein's monster.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the thing. He's dead. Let's say if how it happens, he ends up fighting the White Walkers. Let's say the Night King does his thing. Can he take over the mountain because he's technically
Automatically?
dead?
I think only if he touches him.
No, because
Yeah,
That's
then
not
like-
true because he fought when Jon
look-
Snow first fought the Night King and
He
they
was-
fought.
he
They go on a
raised
boat
them
leave.
up,
Yeah, he
yeah.
yeah, but
raised the whole
Benjen
army.
was also dead, and he had no control over
Who?
the night.
Benjen.
Yeah, Benjen
Jon
was
Snow's
also.
uncle.
Yeah, so
Well,
Oh, no.
technically his name is
Yeah,
his name
that's
is White Hands or Cold Hands.
Cold
I think,
Hands.
Yeah, I think his name is Cold Hands.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
he
I
was
feel like
just
there's
saying-
a lore behind that would explain that when it comes
Well,
to
I
that.
think we're gonna get it.
He was being turned into like one of the Night King type people,
Yeah.
but it didn't go like he stopped it halfway through. So he's still himself, but he's like also part White Walker.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with the mountain, like imagine that if just he goes to the thing and like he turns him and he's
Oh
just
yeah,
fucking up his own
immediately. Yeah,
guys.
the mountain goes to fight, and then he just hold on, raises his hand, and then automatically turns around. And he's
He
White
just started
Walker.
whipping people
Yeah.
next to him in the
Wow,
line.
what the fuck is going on, man?
Which would be a good way. I mean, which would be lead into an easy way for the Hound to actually kill him if he has Dragon Glass, just
Oh yeah,
Shank him right
true
in the-
too. But
right in the armpit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's how they could do the fight between them. But then again, how do you get the mountain to go to there? Because he's fighting the White Walker.
I don't think we're gonna see the mountain at all during the war. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's how I see season 8 playing out because Jamie knows that.
Do we
Cersei-
want to get into this right now? Because we do have that for next
Nah, I
week.
would wait for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I want. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, dude. I know it sucks to get caught off like that, but I feel like whatever you
Nah,
say
it's
is
all
good.
Just write
and
it
we
down.
Should, yeah, we should save it.
We're
I'm sorry.
actually we're closing up. We're at almost at 45 minutes.
All right, so hold on. We have a little bit more to cover. So then we have the wall crumble down between Viserion just absolutely unloading it was so cool, man. What a visual that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You would see Tormund. We don't know if he got to the edge of the wall before he survived, because a lot of it
They
did
did
go
not
down.
show him, so I think we can assume that him, Dondarrion,
Yeah.
and I know someone mentioned, I personally didn't see him, but I heard that Gendry was up there with him too.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
remember
see him
seeing
either.
him.
So I feel like
But
he has to
imagine
do
you
that.
just see the three of them in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
It was the first season.
Yeah, picking out ice in each other's
It's
hands.
so-
Like, whew.
That or White Walkers.
I don't want to start on
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
sorry,
go into
sorry.
that. So then, the wall crumbles, and the size of that White Walker army, not even between the
Yeah.
giants, but even the Dragon now, the Night King, the White Walkers, this army is not, it's not 100,000 strong. I feel like it's about in the millions, man.
Yeah, that's what I said, too.
There's no way. I mean, the way that they showed it,
12,000 years.
8,000 years. It's
Yeah.
8,000 years
That's
strong right
8,000
now.
years of a lot of things
So
died.
they're
in
marching,
8,000.
man. And you know what sucks is that we have to wait. This was the season finale.
I saw, someone put in our group chat a counter.
Yeah, there's already a countdown.
558
It's
days.
brutal.
Like,
yeah.
come on. Is it just me, or I feel like they could have been working on the writing and like setting up
Well,
the
it's
locations
already,
when
they already did. That's why October they're
Well,
shooting right
yeah.
away. But the only problem is that there's going to be so much CGI that it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But we'll go into that next week.
Yeah.
And like everything.
So let me just get a quick sense of everyone. Was this so far the greatest finale in Game of Thrones history?
No.
I would say it's number 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lance.
I would say easily number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would rank him, but I don't think it was the best one.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I feel like it was good. It was really, really good. But I still think last season's when Jon
Oh,
was
hell yeah.
proclaimed the King of the North,
Last
Daenerys
season
set
was
sail.
so satisfying.
You
You know,
had-
Cersei destroys the
And not only that, just like the intro, like the very beginning part of
Yeah.
it with the music.
Oh
and
my
how-
god. Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that
it
song.
gives me- it literally gives me goosebumps even right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually starting to get goosebumps now. Yeah, you just see way more like character development in the,
Yeah.
you know what's happening. Like,
Yeah,
We
at,
got-
'cause
yeah.
at the end of that, at the end of last season finale, shit was gonna happen this
Now,
season.
okay, so with this said, though, what are you more anticipated for? The way it ended last season when you were finally going to see Daenerys set sail, or now that we have the White Walkers crossing the wall and now they're actually, we have the final war, now that we're down to 6 episodes?
well, the White Walkers have been a huge question mark since the first season. So I'm very excited for now we get it's way more.
I'm not sure if I'm more excited to see the battles of the White Walkers. I'm more excited to see how the game ends.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
want to
true.
know how the game ends.
Which we'll leave you guys off with that. Next week we will be doing a season 7 overview, just reviewing the whole season in itself, and then we'll definitely do season 8 predictions. Sorry to cut you off there before, Steve. I just feel like it's good enough to save till next week. I love doing this. This is so much fun.
Oh yeah.
With that said, I'm Kevin,
I'm Lucy.
I'm Steve.
Lance.
and don't forget to like, subscribe, and get ready for more content because we have a lot more to give out.
Also, check out our other 2 podcasts that come out this week. We have the sports one that should be out around the same time as this, and we have a new edition of That Fresh podcast that comes out on Friday. So definitely check that out.
All right, stay fresh.